Aubrey, I asked you earlier if you have ever had voice lessons from me, and you have not, have you?
Mm-mm.
We've not worked together, so you know nothing about, again, what I'm about to do here on this piano.
Mm-mm.
So what I want you to do is just sing naturally. Now, Aubrey sings in the praise band here at South Suburban Christian Church in the youth service. Isn't it the youth service or one of the services here? So she has an opportunity to sing on a regular basis here at our church. So she's not a novice, so she's been singing for some time. So Aubrey, without anything more, what I'm going to do is I'm going to step over here to the piano, and I'm going to play a series of notes. Actually, I'll damp this a little bit. I just want you to sing that on ooh. Okay, now what I want you to do is instead of looking right at me, I want you to look more straight ahead. There you go. So we don't, remember the clarinet? So we don't change the instrument. So just look straight ahead and just start it off on ooh. You ready? Actually, let's do that one over, largely because you didn't sing the right notes. I'm sure I played the right notes. Let's leave that in there. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Very nice, Aubrey. Let's do one more. Okay. Now, the sound that Aubrey is producing is the sound that most high school girls produce. They produce this sweet, almost angelic. It's a very pure sound. It's a sound that's much like a flute. A flute will have the fundamental sound plus one harmonic. And that's pretty much what Aubrey is doing. So it's a beautiful sound. It's a pure sound. So you didn't notice any flatness or anything else. That is going to be typical of most high school girls today. So having said that, now what I will do is I will show Aubrey the technique that we use and see if we can improve upon the beautiful sound she's already making. You ready, Aubrey? Now you have no clue what I'm about to do. Again, do you? No. Okay, I have a technique that I call the rolling oval. So it's going to look like this. I take a breath, and then I produce the sound. So watch. Again, I breathe. Now what I want you to think about is that sound being a round sound, that if it starts down here and it goes all the way up and comes around, the sound doesn't change. It's very, very important, because the moment you start changing the sound and start messing with it, just like with the clarinet that you heard earlier, the moment we start messing with the clarinet, it changes the sound. So we're going to, the sound I'm producing is a round, and by the way, this is in your voice range. One of the problems that we have as a male choral director is that we don't know how to model the female sound. So consequently, we have our young ladies in our high school and middle school choirs with a male director being unable to hear a good female produced sound, because quite frankly, males don't produce a female sound. So when I do this, and I learned this many, many years ago, that whenever I do woo, that's in the falsetto sound for a male, but it's also in the female range. What I've been able to discover is that when I produce that sound, it produces harmonics. That's what we're looking for. So what I'm going to do, Aubrey, is I want you to do this. So you're going to take your breath, and you're going to go, woo. Okay? So do it. You don't have to do the hand thing. That's just me. Okay, you ready? So I'll show you. You're going to take a breath. Good. Now you do it by yourself. You ready? Breathe. Okay, now do this. Do that. That's what I'm talking about. Now see if you can take that sound and do this with it. Make the exact same. Now, people will get confused when they hear young ladies. Young ladies will produce the sound, and they're thinking, they think I want them to produce a singing sound. Actually, it's not really what I'm attempting to do without it sounding like double speech. What I'm trying to do is to get her to produce a sound that she has perhaps not heard before. And when she does that, she's not quite sure if it's a valid sound or not, but quite frankly, it is. Because I don't think you've ever heard that second sound you made before, have you? No. Okay, so do it again. Do. Okay, do you hear the darkness in the sound? We used to call that an opera sound. And for some reasons, high school choirs don't like to do it because they think it darkens the sound so much they can't hear what they're singing. But it also gives them power. Okay, now do. Again, go. Now, I hope you notice the difference in the sound. Now, she and I have been working, 5 minutes? And already, I've almost doubled the sound of her voice, just with a very simple technique. That's incredible. You're a quick study, Aubrey. Thank you. Okay, we're going to do this now. And what I want you to do is bring it around and stop it at the top of the arc. I'll demonstrate. Breathe. Okay, do that. Breathe. Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to produce this sound. You ready? One more. Yes. That's what I'm talking about, Aubrey. Your voice is 50% bigger than what it was a moment ago. And actually, there was nothing wrong with that voice. That's what most high school girls use. You could sing that in all-state choir. You could sing it in regional solo ensemble and do very well with it. But that second sound, for almost no effort at all, just by doing the woo sound, you produced a sound that's 50% bigger. And you did that in the space of time we've just been sitting here. Because I didn't prep you beforehand, did I? Mm-mm. Well, Aubrey, you are a good textbook example of what can happen with these young ladies with just a little bit of effort. I mean, you don't have to be fancy and all of that sort of thing to pick up this sound. Look at what Aubrey did. Beautiful young singer, and she picked this up immediately, and you heard the difference in the sound. What you heard was depth, what I was talking about earlier, depth. So, Aubrey, thank you very much for taking the time. It was a joy to meet you today, and good luck for the rest of your time at Arapahoe High School. Thank you. We're fortunate today to have with us Tammy Wenzinger. Now, Tammy and I have been working together for, I guess, 30 years. When she first came to me, she wanted to be able to sing musicals and a little bit of everything else, but she had this little tiny voice and mostly what I call falsetto sound. So over the years, we've been working together, and I've helped her sing some roles here at church. So we're very fortunate to have her with us today. Now, what I am going to do is demonstrate the Bottom School of Vocal Acoustics using Tammy as our vocal subject to illustrate the sound of the harmonics in the voice. You heard me do that a little bit ago, but now I'm going to show you what the sound is like in the voice. So Tammy, the first thing I want you to do is just do that rolling oval sound. So just start it here, bring it around, and take it all the way back to here when you're ready. Okay. Now what you notice as Tammy did that, she went through what we call a register break, which is frequently around G, G sharp in there somewhere. Register break. We don't teach registers in our school. So what I had Tammy do is to go, she started on one side of the register break and went through to the other side so she didn't hear any discernible break in her voice. Now once we do that, I will have her do the same oval sound again, because what we do in our school is I talk about the oval sound. So let's assume this is the pitch. So when we're singing a low pitch, there's still a sound on the top. This is what I call depth. Then when I bring the sound back around, we got a higher pitch than what we have. We still have a bass to it. So the distance between is what I call vocal depth. So you just don't have a thin sound up here on the top. You still have sound that goes all the way through the vocal spectrum. And you will hear that noticeably when Tammy does some of these vocalises. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around and play this. I'll have her turn that pitch again, stop it at the top of the arc, and then we'll do the vocalese. Okay, Tammy, nice rich sound. Take your breath and bring it around all the way through and stop it. Go. Very good. Now, you'll notice that there's no break in the voice. That's what I'm talking about. We use a one-register system, which Bernard called the idealistic approach, and I agree with that. If you can do one register, then you don't have to worry about register breaks. Now what we're going to do, bring it around and stop it at the top of the arc, Tam. Okay, now do this. Ready? Thank you. And you'll notice when Tammy was doing that, as she got to the top note each time, she extended her jaw. We've discovered, and I'm not the only one to discover this, is that when you lower the jaw, it increases the distance in the back of the throat, enabling them to sing the higher notes with ease. Plus, you'll notice I started with a high note first. A lot of vocalises have you starting at the bottom and going up. We started with the top note and sang it twice, which makes it a more difficult vocalese to do. So once again, Tammy, thank you very much for your time today.